Thank you to Harry Keane, Bendrix and Henke for suggesting this artist.
I've got my button-down shirt on, my sleeves rolled up. Let's write an Arctic Monkeys song. Hello there, ladies and gents. My name's John Azopardi, and welcome back to One Man Bands. Each week I take a popular musical artist and write a song inspired by their style. So if you enjoy the song that I write today, leave a like on this video, comment to let me know which artist you want me to do next, and subscribe to see when I do. Today I will be writing a song inspired by Sheffield favourites Arctic Monkeys. I covered their song Are You Mine on Monday, which you can watch up here, and I suggest going to watch that cover because I'll be referencing what I learned putting it together throughout the course of this video. Arctic Monkeys are a four-piece rock band from the UK who have been in the top echelon of rock music ever since their first album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, came out and went straight to #1, selling a record amount of copies in its first week. Since then, Arctic Monkeys have covered a great deal of musical ground, from the riff-heavy barnstormers on their first record to spacey, retro-futuristic anthems on their most recent, Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino. I'm glad I said that right, because I've gotten that wrong a lot of times. After listening through their discography and taking notes on how their sound has evolved, I'm going to try and write a song that walks the line between their most recent music and also harkens back to their early days and their roots. The hallmarks of Arctic Monkeys' early music are guitars cranked up to 11, coupled with Alex Turner's rapid-fire vocal delivery, giving these raw and raucous, fast tracks great to be played live. Compare this style to the moodier and slicker approach on AM with the bass and guitar synchronized riffs and the groove-driven drum beats, and then the organ and piano ballads present on Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino. I've got my work cut out to try and fit all of this in one song. So here is how I attempted to go about it. I'm going to start the song in typical AM style with a bass and guitar riff and then a groovy but reserved drum beat underneath. You can hear this on the AM track, Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High. Listen to how the bass and the guitar play in unison, an octave apart, and then the drums just lock into place with the kick drum accenting the notes in the riff. I love this feel, and that's how I'm going to open my track. So I put together a riff that the guitar and the bass play at the same time, and then the drums are going to come in with a very, very simple beat, again with the kick drum being the one that accents the parts of the riff. So here is the opening of my track. I also quite like the idea of adding in an organ or some keys to this first section of the song in a reference to the spacey feel of Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino. Specifically on the track 4 out of 5, you've got a classic AM style riff going on with the bass and guitar playing at the same time, but then you have the keys adding a bit of atmosphere in the background. So here is 4 out of 5. And I'm gonna take some inspiration from that, so we're gonna need an organ sound. And then maybe another one for good measure. I think that'll do. So add that organ in with the drums and bass, and then maybe throw in some woozy guitars with a ton of spring reverb. And yeah, I've got my first section. So after lulling the listener into a false sense of security, we're going to break out into a classic old school Arctic Monkeys riff, referencing the song When the Sun Goes Down, which I love because it drops out, leaving just the guitar riff, then hits you in the face when all of the instruments come back in. This is just so effective, I'm going to shamelessly copy it to introduce the heaviest section of my song, and I've got a nice raucous, raw guitar tone ready to go. So, don't do that. Oh no. You can cut here. Oh. It works. So here's that. I think that'll do. I'm also ramping up the drums in the heavy section, starting out by building up with some quick single strokes on the floor tom, then breaking out into a really fast hi-hat pattern, which is my little reference to Brian's Storm. And Matt Helders is a brilliant and versatile drummer. He's played not only with Arctic Monkeys, but also with Iggy Pop, playing with Josh Homme, so he's played on loads of stuff that I absolutely love. This is my little homage to him. So here's what he does in Brian Storm. It's just a whirlwind of drumming bliss. What up? It's John back in the drum zone. I'm going to try and play the intro of Brian Storm. I hope. I think. Okay, I'm also going to do the verse of Brian Storm as an example of one of Matt Helder's quick hi-hat bits that I'm going to steal. It's something like that. So again, I've just shamelessly stolen this sort of feel for my heavy part. Okay, now here's my quick hi-hat part. It's not as complicated, but I think it's fun and punchy. That's my one. And that's how I want to introduce my heavy section. So here is that section of my song. So that ascending riff is very satisfying and fun to play, but I think it would be messy to have that and also sing really quickly in the style of Alex Turner. If we go back to the song When the Sun Goes Down, you've got this main riff. But underneath that riff, you have these chords going on. And when the vocals start, the riff drops out, leaving just those chords in order to make the space for Alex Turner to take over and let his vocals be the main event of that section. So those chords in When the Sun Goes Down relate very closely to the riff that they're playing under. So I came up with an ascending set of chords that fit well underneath my riff that would be easy for me to sing over without it getting too messy. So my riff is this. Whoops. And then the chords that I'm going to play underneath are this. So they relate very closely to the riff that I'm playing, but they aren't quite so aggressive, meaning that they leave space for the vocals to fit in. So here is the verse part of my song with the quicker vocals that will come in once we've established the heavier section of the song.
Who you looking at, or why ain't me? Text me when you're tipsy, baby, not when you're free. Don't stop to tap it faster than you're able to speak. I'm the only one to send and never receive.
Another way of leaving space for the vocals to come in a heavier song is something that I learned in Are You Mine, and actually crops up in a lot of Arctic Monkeys songs, which is just to let the guitars drop out and leave the bass playing the riff for a verse. So I'm going to use that as well. Here it is in Are You Mine.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I need the deep end. Keep imagining meeting wished away. Entire lifetimes unfair. We're not somewhere misbehaving for days. Great escape, lost track of time and space.
And then here is what I went for in my song.
Why be skin deep when you can dive into us? We've got the time apart to right all the wrongs.
Okay, so the choruses are slightly harder to put together because there's a whole host of ways that Arctic Monkeys go about writing their choruses, but one that has always stood out to me as being quite hard-hitting is... Oh, pardon me, I'm so sorry. One that's always stood out to me is the one at the climax of their song, View from the Afternoon. It's like this really triumphant end to the song, hitting a high note right at the climax of the track. It just feels really good to listen to. Take a listen to that.
And she won't be surprised, and she won't be shocked when she's pressed the star after she's pressed the lock. And the first chapter saying her inbox.
Now, my choruses aren't going to be quite so fast, but I do want them to start out by hitting a nice high note and essentially be something really easy and fun to sing along to. A bit of a crowd-pleasing moment. So here is what I came up with for my chorus. After that sort of anthemic chorus, I wanted to include another thing that I really enjoyed finding out about the album AM through recording the cover of Are You Mine? And that's that a ton of the vocals on the album were recorded normally and then recorded again an octave up. It's really common for so many of the songs on AM to have this feature going on. So here's what it sounds like in Are You Mine?
Self all I one arrow says, are you mine?
So you've got the regular vocal line and then the same vocal line an octave up. But I kind of wanted to take this a step further. There's a full falsetto break in the song Knee Socks, again from the album AM. Take a listen to that.
Like the beginning of Main Street, you could be my baby. You and me could have been a team, each had a half of a king and queen seat. Like the beginning of Main Street, you could be my baby.
So I'm going to put a throwback to the start of my song in here, wherein the vocals are going to be a falsetto version of what was going on at the start. But I got carried away and harmonized it loads because I thought it sounded pretty. So I went off on a tangent a little bit here, but take a listen and see what you think. After that, we're going to go back to the heavy section of the song and have a really abrupt, quick ending. I just find that sort of thing really satisfying. I think the ending of a song is very important. Like, the end of Are You Mine is just such a fantastic song ending, because it's abrupt and it's quick and it doesn't drag out for too long. It's like, you know that's the end. That's good. So those are the main bits of Arctic Monkeys' sound which really inspired this track. Let's touch on the lyrics before I play you the full song. Bear with me. Hold up. There we are. It's a prop again now. Lyrics. Alex Turner can spit some bars. He can pack so many syllables into a line, it is performance poetry set to music. Arctic Monkeys are a band hailing from Sheffield, and Alex Turner uses his local accent and slang that he's picked up through living there to his advantage. Just listen to the third verse of When the Sun Goes Down. You couldn't sing it any other way but the way he does.
Here comes a portmanteau. Isn't he Mr. Inconspicuous? And he don't even have to say oh.
There are lines in that section of the song that only rhyme because of his accent. Now, obviously, that's something that I can't fake. I can sing with a slight twinge to my voice in reference to what he does, but I don't have that accent, sadly, so I'm not going to sound exactly like him. But I've tried. Alex Turner also isn't afraid to be really down to earth with his lyrics. Like, he's quite happy to use people's names, alcohol brands, car manufacturer names, lots of Ford cars in his tracks. He likes Fords. As long as they fit the theme, anything really goes in terms of what he puts in his lyrics. But doing these things helps paint a very vivid picture in your mind of the sort of situations that he's describing. That is the mark of a skilled raconteur. The lyrics are very conversational. It doesn't feel like he's stretching to include rhymes. It's more like he's having a chat with you, and what he's saying just happens to be poetry. This is rather difficult to emulate given the amount of time that Alex Turner has been writing lyrics for. Just a hint, it's longer than me. I'm sorry. But I gave it my best go. I've got references to Smirnoff and Pink Gin, so I'm fairly happy with them. You can find the lyrics in the description. See what you think. But with that out the way, let's hear the song. As ever, if you do enjoy the song, please leave a like, comment to let me know which artist you'd like me to do next, and subscribe to see when I do. I would love to hear from you. This is my song inspired by Arctic Monkeys. It is called CYCLONE. Enjoy.
You might just have another agenda, a silver bullet just to help me remember that I'm about as useful as a pool by the sea. Not necessarily an unpleasant feature, but you got options and they know how to reach you. If you're in a bathing